Hey guys, Libby News here. So in this video, I'm going to be giving my top 5 executions, and I'm just going to go ahead and fair warn you guys, this list is a little bit more opinion-based than my other ones because I feel like for some of my other lists, like my top 15 character list, I was able to kind of like base a lot of judgments off of like their screen time and their development and like the depth to their character, but with this, it's more so just the executions I like best. So it's a little bit more biased, but I think it's fun to kind of share opinions, and I would love to hear about you guys' favorite executions as well. And before I begin, I do want to mention some Danganronpa updates that I haven't gotten around to covering this week because school is getting pretty crazy. I'm really close to finals week and I'm about to graduate from college actually, so I have like a ton of film projects and stuff, and I was originally going to do my Gundam analysis this week, but there was just no way I had time for it. I'll try to do that either next week or the week after, just depending on if school sort of dies down at all. But I just wanted to keep you guys updated on that because I really did want to get these announcements out sooner, but I just hadn't really had time. The first announcement is that the Monokuma new Japanese voice actor is going to be Tarako Isono, because the original Japanese voice actress for Monokuma is Miss Nobuyo, who has been having some bad health issues lately, so Miss Tarako Isono will be taking over. And if you guys don't know who Miss Tarako is, she is also the voice actress for 03 and Zero Escape. Also, there were some new casting announcements for the Danganronpa 3 anime that have been announced, so I will put a link in the description for you guys if you want to see who is cast as which character. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get on with this list. So number 5 on this list is the burning of the Versailles witch, or Solis' execution. And unlike a lot of my other ones, this isn't necessarily about what else is going on in the game or like how that made me feel during this execution, but it's really because of a lot of like visuals and implications it has about Solis' character and how they really implemented that into this execution, and that's something I really liked about this. And there's not really a whole lot revealed about Solis' past, but we do know that her original name is Taiko Yasuhiro, and that she felt as if she was a boring and ordinary person, so she created this alter ego of herself called Celestia Ludenberg. And I'm not going to go like full character analysis into depth in this particular video, but basically Solis did not want to be an unspecial or ordinary person. That was one of her worst fears, I'm assuming, and she looked up to people like Marie Antoinette, whom she perceived to be special and unique. So in order to bring her the maximum amount of despair, Monokuma gave her initially an execution befitting of a queen, with her being burnt in front of a crowd of onlookers. And when you're watching the execution, it honestly looks like she's kind of enjoying it, because in this moment she feels like she's special, like her death is going to make her special possibly, because she wants to be, you know, a person like Marie Antoinette. But at the very last minute of this, Monokuma rushes in with a fire truck, slamming into the stage that Solis is on, killing her. And this sudden change is made to cause Solis the ultimate amount of despair in her final moments before her death, because her execution went from this dream of being killed in a very like queenly, elegant sort of fashion to being hit by a car, which is one of the most common ways to be killed. So this probably made Solis feel terrible, because being an ordinary person, like I mentioned before, was probably one of her very worst fears, since this seemed to be pretty deeply rooted inside of her, just from what we know about her past. But like I said, I can't really get to full-blown character analysis in this video. I haven't really researched quite enough for that, but this is sort of what I got from this execution and why I think it's really special and interesting and just very visually appealing to me. The next execution on this list is Please Enter Coin, or Chiaki's execution from Super Danganronpa 2. And this execution was definitely emotional for me, because as all of you guys know who are subscribed to my channel, Chiaki is one of my favorite characters, so it was really sad having to watch her get executed. And especially because she's the only person to ever get executed in Danganronpa that didn't actually like mean to commit the murder, but was actually set up to do it. So that just makes it like a million times worse. Like, I've been sad before when people got executed, like characters that I really liked, but with Chiaki it was just extra sad because she didn't even mean to like kill him. It was actually set up for her to do so. So that really sucked. But other than that, I really like a lot of the references that are mentioned in this execution as well, like the references to Pac-Man, Tetris, Space Invaders. I thought they were really cool, and I know that all the executions are ironic towards the person that is being executed, but I thought the gaming references were just really neat. I really felt like they did a good job with this trial, trying to like relate it and make it ironic for the character without going too over the top. Like with some of the other executions, like Mikan's execution, it was almost just like a little too much. Like I was sad that she was being executed, but the execution itself was just like so over the top that it almost took away from like the emotional value of it. But with Chiaki's, I feel like it balanced it in a really good way where we saw the irony from, of course, her being killed by these video game references, but it wasn't so over the top to the point that I couldn't like feel emotionally connected to it, if that makes sense. The next one is After School Lesson, or Kirigiri and Nagi's execution. And I don't know about you guys, but I was freaking out when I got the bad end. Kirigiri was definitely one of my favorite characters throughout the first game, so I was super bummed when I thought she had died. And then when I had to redo it and Nagi was the one in detention, I was like, well shoot, I guess I must have messed up again. I should have chosen to run away. So this execution really kept me on the edge of my seat, and I really enjoyed the style of it too. And some funny sort of trivia about the scene is that on the chalkboard, Monokuma is teaching Nagi and Kirigiri in the first one about how a trash compactor works, and in the second one they are learning about sexual reproduction. You can see like the sperm. It's just kind of a funny little tidbit of information that I thought was cool. Next on this list is One Woman Army, or Pekko's execution, and in my opinion, this is just like the saddest trial. Oh my gosh. And of course, being just so torn up and sad about that, this was a really thrilling execution because of her fighting the robot like samurais, and it really kept me on the edge of my seat, especially when Kuzuryu came in and tried to save her, because of course I knew she was going to die. There was no way that she could live, but it really terrified me that Kuzuryu was going to be killed as well. And when Pekko sliced him, I must have just like audibly gasped because I was just so on edge, and that's just something I don't usually like make noises when I'm playing video games, but it really made me do that because I was just really invested into it. And it's also really sad to think about how in Pekko's final moments during this scene, she thought she was responsible possibly for killing Kuzuryu because he obviously was in very bad shape. Monokuma had to take him in an ambulance, and he wasn't around for quite a while in the game after this, so she probably thought she was responsible for killing him. And you know, Kuzuryu is the person she cared about the most, so this would probably cause her the greatest amount of despair before her death, thinking that she killed Kuzuryu right before the moment she died. So it's just really sad to think about. And finally, the number one execution on my list is the 1000 Blows, or Leon Kuwata's execution from Danganronpa 1. And this is by far my favorite by artistic means, because it's really the most impactful and just like chilling to me so far in the games. And I think the idea of the death game really became real for the characters and for the players, because I mean, before this we see Mizuno's death, which is intense, but I think that this is by far way more gruesome, and the fact that like Nagi and the rest of the cast watches it while it happens just makes it like all the more chilling and real, and I thought it really emphasized that, and I thought it was really cool. I honestly do wish that a lot more of the executions in the game were kind of like this one. They weren't so over the top. Even though a lot of the other ones I mentioned on this list I love, I do kind of wish sometimes they were a little bit more understated, but that's just my opinion personally. But one last kind of cool thing about this execution is that it's the only one you can see in the beta version of Danganronpa 1, which is of course Distrust, and I'll put a link in the description for that if you guys want to check it out. But anyways, this concludes my top 5 executions video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Be sure to let me know what your top 5 favorite executions are in the comment section below, and like I said, school has been super duper crazy, but I will be trying to get that Gundam analysis soon. It may be a little bit later, just depending on how crazy school is, so if it's a little bit later than usual, it doesn't mean I'm taking like a hiatus or anything. It's just because I've been crazy busy. But other than that, I know a couple of you guys have come to me wanting me to do a video about the unused executions, and I think that would be really cool too. I know there is some videos about that already, but they're more just kind of like text and pictures from what I've seen, so I think it would be fun to kind of like do a video on it and maybe give some trivia and stuff like that. So let me know if you guys are interested in that. Also, I would love to cover the beta version of Danganronpa 1, which is Distrust. Like I said, I think similarly to the executions stuff, there is a video or a couple of videos talking about it, but I would still love to give my own spin if you guys would want to hear it. So just let me know if you guys are interested in that, and I will see you real soon.
Subscribe to Weeby News for more hope-filled videos.